on a basic level, there's a need for people within the legacy art world to engage with the NFT and crypto community to understand the value system, which currently feels very different from the value system of the art world. Another quote I read, Fanny Lakube in her weekly newsletter made a joke about how, last week the art world learned like how to have fun. And I think there was, this sense of fun with regard to the Constitution DAO bidding. And generally speaking, the art world, it has been, it thrives a bit on exclusivity. It can be a bit impenetrable. Again, it's hard to understand. There's a lot of elitism that drives the space. And it's really quite the opposite in the Web3 community. And so I think there's a real opportunity for both sides to get to know one another. I don't want to necessarily just say that is the entire value structure within the art world, because the reasons why we're all so moved by art, like that is, of course, very real. There's also a need to educate the NFT, Web3, and crypto community on the beauty of fine art as well, right? So I think there's still a ways to go before those two worlds really collide. I'm hoping there's openness to educating on both sides.
And lastly, MetaPurse co-founder Tubador, who along with Metacoven purchased Beeple's first 5,000 days, provided his view of the NFT horizon in episode 24.
There is a larger vision, and I think it will address the collective good eventually, but it's going to be incremental. It's going to be over a period of time. Now, I'm speaking of this in abstract and not specifically in terms of projects that are out there, because I think that's important as well. Because there are very powerful forces, very powerful trends that that people tend to FOMO over, and it's very difficult not to feel that feeling of FOMO, right? But I think they will give way to initiatives and ideas and projects that have a much more long-term vision, even within the NFT space. And it's hard to do that because in a space that changes and evolves so quickly, to come up with an idea or a concept that can sort of subsume any current trend that so happens to come about and sort of hold its own is rare. And I think projects of that sort, which are determinedly decentralized, which are determinedly long-term in their vision, which have a certain percentage of ambiguity in how they will unfold, which don't necessarily fill a vacuum that exists right now, but address a sort of a necessity which will arise a year from now or two, will be very interesting. And I think that's what the NFT space has in store for us. I also think there will be a larger realization of the actual potential of NFTs in being time capsules and vehicles for culture, and as the probably the best archival tools that ever existed in human history, which haven't happened yet. And the third aspect that I see unfolding in front of us is this idea of collectively experiencing NFTs in interesting and different ways. Dreamverse is just the beginning of it, right? People know that you can experience a work of art on massive screens, that you can experience it collectively, that you can look at it on, you can make a spectacle out of it, you can make it immersive, and you can do it in a physical space. So there's going to be a lot more of that also.
So that's a sampling of what we heard in 2021. There were plenty of other gems in this year's episodes, so I encourage you to go back and check them out. In the meantime, I'll be hard at work continuing to educate and inform you about the past, present, and future of art in 2022. Happy holidays. That's all the time we have for this week. You've been listening to Art Sense. You can find the show on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app. If you've enjoyed this podcast, be sure to subscribe, and while you're there, please rate the show and leave a quick review. Your feedback is the key to other folks finding us. If you'd like to see images related to the conversation, read a transcript, and find other bonus features, you can go to canvia.art and click on the podcast tab. If you'd like to reach out to me, you can email me at craig@canvia.art. Thanks for listening.